Hello everybody, Rusted Ground here, and welcome to what I initially thought would be a looking back type of video for Mass Effect. But it turns out that because of the amount of questions that you guys asked me in the last Mass Effect video, it won't be just a looking back video, it'll be more of a Q&A type of video. and I'm gonna go with answering your questions primarily, because there's a lot of questions to go through. I counted them, and there are about 28 questions that you guys asked me, and all of them cover actually all the areas that I wanted to talk about, and even more. So I don't want to make this video very long, because it's not really going to be a video. Like it's going to be like you can just minimize the window and just listen to it if you want. There's not going to be a lot of stuff happening on the screen. Everything will happen from an audio perspective. So on the background you'll just see at the moment some random Mass Effect 1 footage that I recorded. If you want to do something else, you don't need to watch the video. You can just minimize the window and just listen to my voice if you like it. and also going through 28 questions, it's gonna take a while. I actually did a bit of a draft run, so to say, or a dry run through the questions, and I can tell you that it's gonna take a while. So sit back, relax, do whatever you want, grab a pint of beer or a juice or whatever you want, and let's get this party started. First thing I want to say after 2 minutes of talking here is that I got the concept of a looking back video from a fellow YouTuber and a friend of mine. His name is Hadrian, or his stage name is Hadrian. He has a channel where he plays a bunch of grand strategy games and survival games. I'll drop a link to his channel in the description down below if you want to check him out. And he has this type of looking back video on the series that he records, and I spoke to him, and I got, let's say, his permission to use the idea, because I think these types of videos are very good for the games that really deserve it. So let's just say that I don't plan on doing this for every game I play. I plan on doing this type of video for the games that I really enjoy, or that have really had or that will really have an impact on me as a gamer. And also, of course, depending on the interest or your interest in the videos, I will do this type of video. So I'm gonna call it looking back on Mass Effect. But like I said at the beginning, it's gonna be more of a Q&A session, because I have your questions and I'm gonna go through them. And the idea behind it is to talk a little bit about what I think of the game after I played it. For those of you that have been following the channel or even the Mass Effect series, you know that I not so long ago I finished Mass Effect 1. It was my first time playing it. For those of you that are new to the channel, you can check out the playlist for Mass Effect 1 if you like this type of games, or if you care to watch it. I'll put it somewhere on the screen. So yeah, I recently finished Mass Effect 1. And I said at the end of it in the last video that I would like to do a video where I just talk a little bit about what I think about the game, and how it felt playing it, and what I liked and what I didn't like, and stuff like that. And I also asked for some questions from you guys, because you've been watching the videos, and some of you or most of you are big fans of Mass Effect, and I wanted to interact with you a little bit. So I was very pleasantly surprised to see that there are 28 questions. And I was very pleasantly surprised to see new faces in the comment section and new people that have asked questions and have expressed their interest in the series and gave me feedback and so on and so forth. I'm very happy to see all of you. I'm very happy to see that the Mass Effect series has been somewhat of a success. Like, from my perspective, it's the most successful series on my channel, and it's great. So let's just cut the chit chat, right? And let's dive into the questions here. Yeah, see where this video takes us. So I tried to group together the questions a little bit, just so that we have a certain flow. And at the moment in front of me, I basically have the list of questions, and I'm just gonna go through them one by one. I'm not gonna go through them in the order they were submitted in the comment section. Like I said, I just took the questions and grouped them. Like, if there was a question about a certain topic, or more questions about a certain topic, I just put the questions together, and we're gonna talk about that. So let's start with the first question. The first question is, how did you come across the game? So for those of you that don't know, I used to be a World of Warcraft player. I played World of Warcraft for about 9 years with a bunch of friends, and it was awesome. And I didn't really care about single player games, because I thought single player games are kind of pointless, because I really enjoyed the multiplayer experience, but then a few years ago, like maybe 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, let's put it like this, 2.5 years ago, so late 2013, let's put it like that, I decided to quit World of Warcraft due to various reasons. I moved out of my home country, and most of my friends didn't really play the game anymore, and it wasn't really appealing anymore, and I kind of got bored of it, so I decided to quit, and I did. And then maybe a few months ago, I decided to start a YouTube channel, just because I watch a lot of YouTubers, and I thought I'd give it a try. And I always thought about trying single-player games that have a great story, and I was really into starting the Witcher series, but I didn't really have time, and my schedule, my real-life schedule, loosened up a little bit, and I had some time, and I thought, what series should I start? Should I go for The Witcher, or should I try something else? And at the time that I was thinking about this, I was playing XCOM 2, the first campaign, I think, and I thought, why not get a game that is in the same theme type of situation, let's say. Aliens and sci-fi. And the first game that came to mind was Mass Effect, because a bunch of my friends told me years ago that Mass Effect is a great game and that I should try it, and that I think one of them actually said, you haven't lived until you played Mass Effect, or something like that. And that popped into my head, right? And I started to do a little bit of a research, meaning that I just went online and read some reviews. And then I spoke to a few of my friends, and all of them said, yeah, man, you should try it, because it's a great game, it's a great story, it's amazing, it's, just so you know, I'm not a very big sci-fi fan. I prefer fantasy to sci-fi, which is strange, because my favorite game, it'd have to be XCOM, which is a sci-fi game. But if I'm watching a movie, or if I read a book, or if I'm playing a game, I prefer fantasy to sci-fi. But I said, listen, I'd like to keep the game, the theme consistent on the channel, and since at the moment I'm playing XCOM, why not give it a shot and play Mass Effect? So that's how I came across the game. I read a few reviews, I got a few friends to tell me a little bit about the game, in terms of, how is it and what's it like and so on and so forth. All the reviews and all my friends' feedback were great and very positive, and like I said, the bottom line was that a few friends of mine basically convinced me to play the game, and so I did. So yeah, this is how I came across the game. Second question, where are the missing Codex episodes? Okay, so now we're getting into the actual series. For those of you that have watched the series, you know that I did I did 2 Codex episodes. So episodes dedicated specifically to going through the Codex. What happened was while I was recording the 3rd episode, I accidentally pressed a key on my keyboard. I think it was spacebar, and it automatically marked as read all my Codex entries, and I was just like, what the hell is going on? No, I basically lost all my new entries, and it would have been a little bit hard for me to pick it up and re-record and so on and so forth. So I just decided that I wouldn't do it. But I did read most of my Codex entries. I did read them offline. So yeah, I'm really sorry for those of you that enjoyed those videos. I'm really sorry I stopped them. I'm gonna have to see how I approach the Codex entries in the next games, because I'm sure there will be a similar option in the game. So yeah, I'm really sorry for this, guys. Gameplay thoughts, likes and dislikes. This is the 3rd question. Okay, so now we're diving into the game. For a game that is 8 years old at this point in time, or 9 years old, I say, I thought it was quite well made. You could see, you can see that that BioWare invested a lot of money into it, and the voice acting is just awesome. But talking about the gameplay, there are a few things that I didn't like, and those things I think tie in with the next question, which would be, how did you like the combat? So let's talk a little bit about the things that I didn't like in the game. I didn't really like the combat system all that much. I mean, yes, you do get used to it while playing the game, but at first I didn't really like it. I didn't like the positioning of the ability bar in the top left corner of the screen. Coming from a game like World of Warcraft, for example, where you have your abilities on the bottom of the screen, and when I was playing World of Warcraft, I actually had several add-ons that would put my abilities in the middle of the screen. That was a little bit hard to get used to, and yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like the combat system, as in using cover and stuff like that. I don't know. It was a little bit new to me, because I have to admit it. I haven't played an RPG in a while. Really, I haven't played like a third person type of a game in a while, right? I played a lot of XCOM previously. I had played some point and click games. I played Game of Thrones, Telltale, So Mass Effect at the point where I started it, it was the first sort of RPG in a while. So it felt a little bit wonky to me, and I felt a little bit noobish. I have to admit it, and you can see it in the first videos. And I'm complaining a lot about certain stuff, and it took me a while to get there. So the combat, not great. What else? The inventory. Oh man, the inventory. I hated the inventory, to be honest. Thank God I didn't have to deal with it that much. But no. I didn't like the inventory at all. What else? I don't think there was anything else specifically. No, I thought the graphics were great for 2007. 2008, 2007, 2008. I thought the story was amazing. I thought the characters, oh my god, the characters are so well made, and it's, you cannot help it but you know, fall into it basically. And it got me like a bug. Like a bug, it got me. Yeah. Moving on to the next question would be what are your thoughts on the Mako? So when I started the game, so this ties into again to things that I liked or I didn't like. When I first started the game, a friend of mine actually told me about a little bit about the Mako in terms of a lot of players hate the Mako. I wouldn't necessarily say I hated the Mako, but it's not something that I really enjoyed. I mean, it serves a certain purpose, but overall, it's not such a pleasant experience, to be honest. So my thoughts on the Mako are, you know, it could be better. So hopefully it gets better a little bit. I hope. Yeah. Another question is, if you could change one thing about the game, what would it be? And again, this ties in with stuff I liked and I didn't like. I would change the inventory system. I would change the placement of the ability bar. From a story perspective, I don't think I would change anything, to be honest. I think the Codex is a very helpful tool that gives you a lot of information about the lore and the races of aliens that you encounter and the planets and everything else. I really enjoyed the fact that every planet that you come across has a description, and it just shows how much effort and time the creators of the game put into it. And also just to create this world where the races are so different, but they have to interact and you know, have a common ground. I think it's great, to be honest, and that's the things that I love most about Mass Effect, the overall experience. So yeah, I think I said two things, right, that I would change, and those things, like I said, the placement of the ability bar and the inventory, those are more of an aesthetic things that I would change. But from a gameplay perspective, I don't know. I don't think I would not necessarily change everything. Like I said, even if I didn't really like the combat that much, you kind of get used to it. And I'm very curious to see how the combat evolves in Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3, because I understand those two games have a way better combat system. So yeah, I cannot say right now. You know what else I would change. That's about it. Maybe you know what? Maybe I would change the way the achievements are displayed. I think from a gaming perspective, I'd like to be, you know, notified in the middle of the screen or somewhere really visible, like, yeah, you got this achievement because you did that or whatnot. This is something that I didn't really explore like in my videos, but I did look into it offline. Okay, moving on to question number 7 now, and we're going into the gameplay area, so to say. What was your most memorable moment? And then there's another question that asks, what was your favorite moment or least favorite moment in the game? Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of a differentiation between my most memorable moment and my favorite and least favorite moments in the game. So the most memorable moment for me was when we met Sovereign. I think that Sovereign is a very well created character, and I really liked the fact that you only discover him towards the end. And the voice acting, the voice acting just gave me chills, basically. Like real chills. The favorite moment and the least favorite moment. The favorite moment for me was when we bonded when we found out about Rex's story. Yeah, that was my favorite moment because I think that had the biggest impact on me. I wasn't really expecting Rex to have such a powerful story. Yeah, that was my favorite moment. And then my least favorite moment. I'd have to think about this one, to be honest. I think that my least favorite moment was when I had to decide between Ashley and Kaidan. Even though technically I kind of, made my mind up pretty fast, the idea of having to sacrifice one of your own, I didn't really like it. So yeah, I would put that as my least favorite moment. What was the hardest decision? This is another question. Sorry, but before we get to that, were there any disappointing moments? I think the disappointing aspects of the game for me were more related to the side missions that we had, specifically to the exploration and gathering assignments. I thought the gathering assignments were kind of pointless, to be honest, and to me were just a means to explore stuff, but they could have done it a little bit differently. But I'm hoping that in future games they explore this area more and they let you do some other stuff. I mean I think like side quests are a very good method to make you explore the world, but make you explore the world in a more interactive way. Yeah. So, this would be a disappointing thing about the game, a disappointing moment from a story perspective. I think maybe the fact that we had to kill the Thorian, that would be a disappointing moment because it was something new, something alive, and we could have learned more about the Thorian, about it, basically. Yeah, another disappointing moment was at the beginning. At the very, very, very beginning, when Nihilus was killed. That was another disappointing moment because when Nihilus was introduced, I just immediately thought about what a badass character we have here, and then he died. But then again, Saren, the baddie, is also a Turian, and yeah, they're very cool. I love the Turians. Okay, what was the hardest decision? I think I answered that. My hardest decision has to be choosing between Kaidan and Ashley, even though I took that, I kind of made my mind about that. So yeah, and also another pretty tough decision, but I wouldn't call it a very hard decision. Depends on where you're coming from, like how you want to play the game, basically. Was the decision to let the Rachni Queen live or not. And also, sorry, another decision, another pretty difficult decision was when we had to either save the prisoners on Asteroid X-57 or kill the baddie. Yeah, kill the Batarian leader. That was another tough decision, and based on how I initially said I would play the game, maybe I should have chosen something different. But anyway, I took a decision. I made a decision on the spot, so gotta live with that now. Which was your favorite character and why? This is question number 11 on my list. My favorite character is Rex. Why is Rex my favorite character? Simply because of the story, first of all. I really liked the story. I really liked the fact that he is such a badass, but he has such an emotional story, and the reasons for him doing what he does and working as a mercenary and so on and so forth are actually, very touching when you get to know him more. So yeah, Rex would be my favorite character. Also because he's a freaking tank and nobody can take him down. Especially towards the end of the game, sort of. Yeah, he's very hard to take down. So yeah, he's very helpful. I think he was very helpful to me in my gameplay. What is your take on the different races? This is another question, and this ties in with what alien species is your favorite. So my take on the different races, I think it's all of them are quite interesting. I mean, the ones that you really get to know. So like the Turians, the Quarians, the Geth, the Asari, the humans, of course. Krogans. These races I found to be quite interesting, and I loved their story, and I also really enjoyed the interaction between the races, right? Especially between Turians and the Krogans, right? Because they should be mortal enemies, basically. So yeah, I really enjoyed finding out about all of them. Even the Rachni that seem just like big bugs, right? Or to me, they just seem like big bugs. They have an interesting backstory, and their queen is a very interesting character. And for a species that doesn't, you don't understand them when they speak or when they communicate, unless they're using a corpse. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to see that they are an intelligent race, right? Another alien race that I found interesting are the Geth. So the Geth are just basically robots, but the fact that their intelligence grows with numbers and their strength grows with numbers, I found it very interesting. Even though they're kind of easier to manipulate by certain other individuals in the game. Very interesting. And then you have the Reapers. The Reapers, who are just like, to me, they seem like the gods of Mass Effect, because they've been there for such a long time, and they know everything, and they know that there needs to be a cycle in the world, and they are pretty damn awesome. The Krogans, to me, I've always compared the Krogans in my head to the orcs in World of Warcraft. That's how I compared them. And then the Turians, my favorite race would have to be the Turians. Just to get back to the question, the Turians, to me, I compare them to the Night Elves in World of Warcraft for some reason. I don't know. I think their posture and their military abilities and I don't know, everything about the way they look, they look so cool and great, and they have such cool armors, and they demand, I think they look like they demand respect when they come into a room. It's like they demand respect. So yeah, that's my favorite alien species. Another question is, which alien species of those that were not available as squad mates in the game are you most hoping to become a squad mate in the next Mass Effect game or games? To be honest, I watched a trailer for Mass Effect 2. Yeah, I watched the trailer for Mass Effect 2 because I don't know, I just wanted to see a trailer for Mass Effect 2. And I saw some interesting faces there, but apart from that, I think I have two races that I would like to see as companions, and I think one of them is going to be a companion: the Solarians and the Volus. The Solarians, I found them to be quite interesting because I think they make great scientists, and I'd love to have like a techie, scientisty type of squad mate. Even though you have Tali and Kaidan and Liara as your techie, scientisty type of squad mates. But the Solarians, yeah, I found them very interesting because they're very smart, and they're very intelligent, and even though they have a shorter lifespan, I think they would make a good addition to the team, to the squad. Volus then would be another race that I would like to see in the squad, just because of their let's say economic acumen. So I think they would be very good with making trades and taking care of our cash flow and giving us the best, value for buck if we want to buy stuff and stuff like that. And also, just because they're kind of a chicken type of race, so to say, they require someone else's protection. I'd like to see a Volus guy, take a gun and just, smash some alien faces. So yeah, Solarian and Volus would be the species that I would like to see in my squad. Which companion or character do you particularly feel had a brilliant voice actor behind him, her, or it? I said it before, I think Sovereign is my top pick for this question. I think the voice acting on Sovereign was amazing. I really liked the confidence. I liked the whole speech. Even if he is he has such a brief appearance in the game, his impact on the game is just huge, and it you get this revelation about what Sovereign is, and that they're more like him, and the dangers that await because he exists, and because more of his kind exist. So yeah, Sovereign would be my top pick for this, and then I would just choose all my squad mates in no particular order. I think all of them had great voices. I think Joker had a great voice as well, voice actor behind him. Yeah, everything. I really enjoyed all of them, but Sovereign would be the one that had I think from a voice perspective had the biggest impact on me. What do you think about how humanity is pictured as a whole in Mass Effect? I don't think it's pictured so differently than other games, movies, or books in the genre. I think it's pictured quite accurately. I think, like, from a race that is fairly, let's say, new. We want a lot. Humans want a lot. They want to be in the council, they want to control stuff, they want to have a say in everything, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I think we're accurately represented. And I'm just gonna stop at that. And yeah, I'll have to. You know what? I'll have to play through the other games, and I'll have to get back to this question after I've played Mass Effect 2 and 3 and just see how everything evolves. Yeah. Okay. What do you like about the setting, and what bothers you? Maybe I don't really understand this question that much. What I like about the setting. I like the fact that technically we had unlimited power. I mean, nobody would stand in our way, and we would be it would be okay for us to just go in and kill everything if we needed to. But that also kind of bothers me, and I think what actually bothers me was more the relationship between the council. I mean, the relationship that we had with the council. I didn't quite understand if we were such an all-powerful, in such an all-powerful position, so to say. Why would we even care about what the council says? I mean, yes, they could reject or revoke our status, as they did with Saren, but Other than that, what would be, what else can they do? What else bothers me? Nothing else, to be honest. I think the game creates an idea of you as a character. You're important to the story and everything, but you are small in this world of races and planets and what's going on and everything. So even though you're very important and what you do is very important, at the end of the day, it's all like a secret operation. And even though, the ending is what it is, if the ending wouldn't be so, let's say bombastic, technically nobody should know about you, and nobody should know what you do. I mean, they do know about you because you're the, Shepard, the first human to make it. But technically you're this high top secret agent. And you're supposed to solve conflicts without anybody knowing, and everything needs to seem like an accident if it needs to be an accident, or needs to have been solved by, not by you anyway. So yeah, I don't know if I answered the question. I went on a little bit of a babble here on this one. Compare the universe with the Star Trek, Star Wars, any sci-fi universes that you like, from a racist politics, sci-fi tech believability and stuff like that. Whoa. So like I said at the beginning, I'm not a very big fan of the sci-fi genre per se, so I don't really know a lot about the Star Trek and the Star Wars. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've seen the movies, but I other than that, I didn't go into more detail than that, and I read Dune and played the game, and I read a few other sci-fi books, so to say. I think to me, Mass Effect resembled more with Star Trek, because from the beginning of the game, right, when they show you in the ship and you go through the ship and the ship goes in space and stuff like that, I immediately thought about Star Trek when I saw that. And also, you get your own ship, you get to explore a lot of planets, so from that perspective it seemed a little bit like Star Trek. From a racist politics believability standpoint, I don't think I had any moments where I felt that no, this is not right, or no, this is not, it's unbelievable, or I wouldn't believe this would happen or whatnot. I think the politics system was made very well. I think the interaction between races and their hierarchy in the world was quite well done. From a technology perspective, I loved the fact that they explained a bunch of stuff, like what does Mass Effect mean? What are the relays? What are your shields and how are they used? And how are the guns used? And what do they? What type of ammunition they use, or what how you fire a gun and stuff like that, and what are the different ships in the flotilla and everything. So yeah, from that perspective, I think it was super detailed, and I like literally I don't really remember all the details now, but reading them then and going through the codex while playing the game, I thought it was amazing. So yeah, to answer your question in a short answer, I would say Mass Effect to me resembles more the Star Trek universe, and I think that the races, the politics, the sci-fi, tech, and everything in the game was very believable. Okay. You romanced Liara. Did you do it because you really liked her, or because it was the by default logical choice kinda? This is one other question. Getting into the romancing aspect of the game, I'd like to think that I romanced Liara because of her personality, and because the fact that I liked her more over Ashley. Although the way the game played out, I think we were given a very short moment to actually make a decision between Liara and Ashley, and that was a little bit weird to me. And the decision making moment came into play in a time where I didn't really needed that too. So I don't know. I think I chose Liara because I liked her personality more. I mean, yeah. I'm just gonna stop it there. I'm not gonna go into more details about that. Another question is, if Rex was a female Krogan, would you choose Rexa over Liara? I think if Rex was a female Krogan, she would kick our asses, and she would kick our ass, and she would not let us near her. So I don't think there would be a choice. What if Liara was a female Krogan? Again, same thing. Krogans are pretty tough, man. I believe. I haven't met a female Krogan yet. I don't know if we're gonna meet one in the game or anything, but I think they're pretty tough. And if they're anything like the males, yeah, I don't think we stand a chance. Like I said, to me, the Krogans are like the orcs in World of Warcraft, and the orcs in World of Warcraft, even the female orcs, are pretty tough. So you'd have to be either a very good warrior, or you'd have to prove yourself in a certain way so that you even get noticed, so to say, right? Let alone romanced. So yeah, that's my answer to this question. Why did you decide to save Kaidan over Ashley? That's another question. Okay, this is a very good question, because I'm curious I would be curious to find out how many of you chose Ashley over Kaidan. That would be interesting. If you could give me your answer in the comment section down below, that would be very interesting. I'd like to know, in your first ever gameplay, who did you choose? Did you go for Ashley or did you go for Kaidan? I think the valiant thing to do would have been to save Ashley. That's my belief. I chose Kaidan because I played with him more. I used him more in the missions. I thought at that point in time, Kaidan was more useful to me than Ashley was. But that is just because I used him more. For people that have played with Ashley more, they would say the same thing probably about Ashley. Probably. I don't know. So that's the reason why I chose Kaidan over Ashley. Do you have any strong feelings about Cerberus? Not particularly. I can't really say I remember much about Cerberus. They were just some side quests. They just appeared in some side quests, and I didn't really pay that much attention to them all that much. Yeah, so don't really have that, very strong feelings about Cerberus. Now, the thing is, I went into Mass Effect 2 just to set up my video options and then to make sure that the downloadable content that I bought was okay. And I noticed that from the first menu, you're logging into the Cerberus network. So, I'm presuming you're asking the question. This is Christian, by the way, asking the question, because we're going to get a lot more Cerberus in the next games. So the answer is, I don't have any strong feelings about Cerberus at this point in time. Will you maintain the same moral inclination towards Renegade in Mass Effect 2? Okay, so when I started Mass Effect 1, I said that I would be this badass renegade, shoot before you ask and get the job done type of person or character. That clearly didn't end up the way I wanted it to at the beginning, or the way I intended it to at the beginning. And that's because throughout the gameplay, my own personality took over, and there were a lot of times where I couldn't really do the renegade decision, or I couldn't take the renegade decision for that matter. I don't know. I don't know if I would maintain the same moral inclination towards Renegade in Mass Effect 2. I'll have to see. Some of you have told me, have told me that in Mass Effect 2 and 3, it's not gonna be, you can't really go through the middle. You'd have to choose between Renegade or Paragon. But I don't know at this point in time. I have no idea what I'll do. I might, if I think about it now, like how I'd like to approach the thing is, I'd like to be renegade with, I'd like to take a renegade approach with everybody else except my squad. Yeah, that's what I would say now. Because to me, my squad is the most important thing. And the rest, yeah, we'll have to see. This is what I'd say right now. Looking back, did you enjoy the class you chose and the playstyle it offered, or would you choose another class perhaps? Yes, I did enjoy the class I chose. I won't choose another class for Mass Effect 2 and 3. I decided a long time ago that I would stick to the same class throughout the games, even if that's not the best thing to do. And I know some of you gave me some feedback and told me, you should change. You can do it differently and so on and so forth. Especially given your play style. Glenn actually told me, he gave me a pretty big description of all the classes, and actually gave me some advice based on the play style that I have in Mass Effect 1. But I'm gonna stick to Vanguard. I'm going to stick to the same class, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I will try a different class in a separate gameplay on my own. But yeah, that won't be recorded, so yeah. Question 26 is, will you play the same class in Mass Effect 2? The answer is yes, I will play the same class in Mass Effect 2. Question number 27, how do you think the story will play out in Mass Effect 2 and 3? Where do you think the plot will take you? Okay, I don't really know how the story will play out in 2 and 3. And the last question here is, how do you think Mass Effect 2 will begin, and what are your repercussions for your choices? So I'm presuming that Mass Effect 2 will start off where we left off at the end of Mass Effect 1, because at the end of the day, even though we killed Sovereign, the Reapers are still a danger that we need to take care of and be ready for. So I presume we're gonna start off where we left off. Repercussions for your choices. Well, there have been a lot of choices throughout the game that will definitely have repercussions. I think one of the choices that will have repercussions will be not choosing Ambassador Udina over Captain Anderson. Another choice would be to leave the Council, to let the Council live. And that will have some repercussions. Another choice might be maybe what we did on asteroid X-57. Another choice would be when we chose Kaidan over Ashley. That will have some implications in the game. I don't know what those implications will be, but I'm presuming that, we'll get to see them in the game. Where do you think the plot will take you? I don't know. I presume that we're gonna have to face the Reapers, and that they're coming for us, and we're gonna have to do something about it. That's what I presume would happen. So, yeah. These are the 28 questions you guys asked me. Again, I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of you for the questions. These have helped me a lot to sort of, think about what I liked and didn't like about the game in a more structured way, I hope. And as you can see, we're already 50 minutes in or something like that. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty long video. At the end of this video, now that we've gone through the questions, we didn't go through the questions. I have another question. Any regrets from this playthrough? And how do you think your decisions will carry over and affect the next 2 games? Okay. So again, I don't know how the decisions will affect the next 2 games, but I'm sure we'll get to see them. I'm sure Kaidan will be quite devastated about Ashley, losing Ashley. I don't know what will happen with Rex, because now he has his armor and he is, I believe, right? He is the rightful ruler of his tribe. I don't know how that will evolve. Tali, I believe, needs to go back to the flotilla. Probably. I think she ended her pilgrimage, but maybe she won't have to go back. Maybe she will stay with us. Regrets for this playthrough? No, I couldn't say I have any regrets from this playthrough, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a great game. It puts you in certain situations. You cannot help yourself but get involved in the game and get attached to the characters. I think there was another question about if I would describe each character and the relationship that I had with each character, and that would be quite a long a pretty long subject to go through. I'm just gonna say that it's obvious that I really liked playing with Rex and Tali and Kaidan. It's not that I didn't like to play with everybody else. I just think that for the class that I chose and for my gameplay style, Rex and Tali were the ones that were better fitted for me. And I'm sure a lot of you have tried different other setups, and you have different opinions about this. But yeah, when you play the game for the first time, you tend to keep the people or the characters that complement you in a certain way, and I thought that Rex would be like the tank type of player, then Tali would be like the engineer / decoder / hacker, and then we would do the bulk of the damage and stuff like that. So that's why I chose these guys, and Caden on the other hand would be the medic of the group. So yeah, those are essentially my thoughts on the game, and my answers to your questions. I really enjoyed the game. I cannot wait to start Mass Effect 2. It's been literally 2 weeks since I actually finished the game, and yeah, I had some real life stuff to take care of, which kept me busy. But I'm still looking forward to starting the gameplay on Mass Effect 2. Like I said, I only went into Mass Effect 2 just to sort out the video, the graphics, and the downloadable content. So I haven't started the game. I don't really... and I had to sort out the importing of the character option, because I read on some forums or something that there was a problem with if you have the Steam game, and there was a problem. So I fixed that. So just so you guys know, the plan was for me to put the first video out on the 27th of June. That is obviously past now, and the plan would be for me to put the first Mass Effect video on the 4th of July. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you'll stick with me through the second and the third gameplay. I hope I answered all your questions, and if you want to send comments and ask me anything else, please feel free to do so in the comment section down below, or in the comment section in the videos. Let me know what you think about this type of video, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, any feedback on how I should structure it or stuff like that. This is the first time I'm doing this type of video, so it might seem a little bit all over the place maybe, and it might seem that I'm just rambling on and on and on and I can't stop, which is true. Thank you a lot for your support, for your questions, and I hope to see you all in the next videos. Until then, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.